Hello again. Now, Lifesaving South Africa is offering to help religious leaders. This comes after the deaths of at least 15 people during a baptism ceremony in the Jukskei River in Johannesburg. The organization is offering to train leaders how to conduct their ceremonies safely in water. Let's find out more from the Director of Drowning Prevention at Lifesaving SA, Mzi Mayedwa. Mzi, good afternoon. Welcome to today, and thank you very much for your time. The circumstances are very tragic. In this case, for example, the case in point where the baptism went wrong with a flash flood and 15 people are now dead. I mean, ranging from babies to grandmothers. Is this preventable?
Yes, Dan, thank you for having me. Drowning is preventable at all times. This is a very much unfortunate situation that has taken place, which can be very much prevented. Hence, as Lifesaving South Africa, we are calling upon the religious leaders to make sure that they make use of areas that are patrolled by lifeguards, because without making sure that you are making use of such areas, you are putting your congruents as well as your flocks in a very extremely dangerous situation.
But not all waterways or water bodies, let's call them like dams and rivers, would have lifeguards. What other advice can you give?
Well, yes, we are very much aware that not all the other areas that do have lifeguards. Hence, most of our message that we always call upon the religious leaders to make contact with our officers, so that at least wherever that they go, at least they know what is it that they need to do. Because we always discourage where people must make use of water in areas where that they are unable to swim, because if ever you are unable to swim, you are putting yourself at risk. And if ever also you are not knowledgeable about the water as well as the waves and everything, you are also putting yourself at risk. At least as Lifesaving South Africa, we do have over 80 life-saving clubs around South Africa, where we encourage the members of the religious leaders to actually contact us, so that at least we can point them to at least in a right direction as to where they can go and actually conduct their ceremonies. Because honestly, if you can't be able to swim, then it's going to be a problem to you. If ever you're unable to tell how this ocean weather is rough or not, or you're unable to identify the so-called rip currents, you are going to put yourself in danger. There are many factors that lead into drowning. Hence, we say members must firstly make sure that they have the skills to swim, they have the ability to swim, because once you have that ability, at least you'll be able to save yourself when you are in trouble. But most importantly, we want to encourage people to make sure that all these activities, including the bathers, must make sure that they go to places where there are these lifeguards, because the lifeguards are trained to prevent drownings. And then they are also trained to identifying some of the dangers that you also find in water. And if ever you're in trouble, the lifeguards will be able to perform the rescues. They will be able to perform first aid as well as CPR. Hence, we emphasize this importance of swimming where we have life.
Do you have a database as Lifesaving South Africa, where you can assist these faith-based organizations that do baptism in the rivers, where there's patrolled, the areas which are patrolled by lifeguards? Do you have that database?
Yes, we do have the database. Hence, we call upon the faith-based leaders to contact us, so that we can point them to a direction where they can make use of such areas. And also, we have municipalities that also employ our lifeguards. The municipalities, they also have areas where they can conduct the so-called baptism. Because of the municipal areas, we have lifeguards that are also situated there. Even if whether it's a swimming pool, at least that particular place is actually controlled by lifeguards. As for database, we do have the database where you can call our offices, and I can always give the number at the end of this interview, so that you are able to actually call and be protected. The major issue here is not being against with what you're supposed to be doing, but it's to make sure that you are in a very much safe environment as soon as possible.
So your message as Lifesaving South Africa is really about ensuring safety of the congregants, of the parishioners, as well as the public who are involved in these rituals. You can give that number right now. We'll repeat it at the end.
The number where you can contact us is 021 312 9251. That is our head office in Durban. You can always contact us on our email, which is headoffice@lifesaving.co.za. That's where you can actually find us.
Yeah, the other point in terms of drownings in relation to these baptismal and prayer rituals is that they take place at different times and some of them in the evening. That's not advisable.
That is totally not advisable. Hence, we must be able to know when the actually lifeguards operate. Around about 8 o'clock up until 5 p.m., there are lifeguards that are actually designated. So we discourage members of the congregations where they go to baptism early hours in the morning, or they even conduct baptism in the evening. Because of you are not protected, you are not safe, and then by that time you won't even be able to have a chance to even call the emergency services, even if the emergency services that are actually nearby. Hence we say, make sure that you swim or you baptize where they are identified areas of safety.
Yeah, and we are in a wet season now. We've seen so much rains and flooding. It will also be advisable to check the level of water in a river before you carry out such a baptismal or a religious ritual that needs water.
Yes, most definitely. And remember, in some cases you will find that early hours in the morning or late hours, there will be a high tide, for instance, within the ocean. You must be able to know when is that the high tide, meaning when the sea level has risen up. The same applies within the rivers. In some instances, you will find in the places where you used to swim, however, now the water has risen up. So that is why that we say that you just need to make sure that you familiarize yourself about the environment. Hence, we emphasize the importance of lifeguards. Because of these lifeguards, they will identify a place where it is safe to conduct your baptism. And not only that, you have them to watch over you.
Yeah. Okay, no, thank you very much for your time, Mzi. Quickly, just repeat that number where people can reach out to Lifesaving South Africa.
The number that you can reach is 021 and 312 9251, 021 312 9251, and the email is headoffice@lifesaving.co.za.
headoffice@lifesaving.co.za. Thank you very much for your time and explanations here. Commitment there by Lifesaving South Africa to prevent the drowning and saving lives of people, particularly in the light of the recent deaths of 15 people during a baptism ceremony in the Jukskei River in Johannesburg. That was Mzi Mayedwa. He's the Director of Drowning Prevention at Lifesaving South Africa.